Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Southeast Europe Championships, the Grand Finals. Dark Passage up against Different Dimensions, and the Greeks' Different Dimensions are 1-0 up, and you hear that ding. It means pick and bans are underway. It is myself, Lee Smith, of course, with Jason Kaplan to take you through this best-of-5 series. It's good to be back, Jason, that's for sure.
It's been too long.
It's been a while. It's been a while, that's for sure. So here we go. Pick and bans, of course, remember. A lot of focus on that Lissandra first pick for Dark Passage last time around. Whoop! Nope.
Looks like a little bit of an error there, so we'll come back to us.
Like they don't want to start just yet, it seems.
It happens. It happens, you know. Jump the gun a little bit.
Okay,
so a little preemptive.
Anon Psycho said, wait. Despite the fact, ironically, it was them that started it. Just saying. Just saying. We'll wait for them to get going in this one. But game one, we were just talking between the break. We were quite surprising how one-sided it actually was for Different Dimensions there. Fantastic gang. So you got to wonder, is that Java now going to be the focus for either Different Dimensions, or are they going to try and take it away from him, or will they just straight up ban it because he made such an impact?
I'm not sure exactly, because if you think about it, they are now the blue side. They get first pick, right? So they could go for that, but from what we saw for the first game, both teams really value those mid laners as a first pick. So maybe we'll see like Lissandra and Orianna get through. I'm assuming Orianna's going to be banned this time because that was just... I mean, even without the ganks that happened, he still just decimated them. His shockwaves were always on point and always catching 2-3 people out on that one. So the Jarvan, it might actually be focus banned. I wouldn't be surprised because that one definitely kind of allowed Anon to really shine. Like the knockups he kept hitting, the clutch saves he kept pulling off were so phenomenal that you kind of wanted that away. You have to wonder how that game would have been without his cataclysms and his knockups the entire time.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the teams to sort themselves out. For some reason, they're saying don't start again without asking. Not sure what they're asking for. They've had a good few 5-10 minute break between to sort themselves out. Looks like they are ready to go. So we're going to get in towards the pick and bans for game 2 here. In this best of 5, will Greece take it all the way? They are 1-0 up over Turkey right now. And that is a big step for the nation, certainly for Greece. Obviously, there's been a lot of rivalry over the years. But
well, you think about it, you're beating a team who was at the International Wildcard. Like, you're beating a team that was at at Worlds. Like, that's a big momentum boost for your team and for your region.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we go. Ari and Nart being taken away. So again, focus on that mid lane champion. Remember, all 3 bans, I think, last time around from Different Dimensions were focused on Naru, who... I guess maybe they just feel that now Holy Phoenix isn't there, Steelback they can contain. I think they're just like, let's just sit on Naru, and basically without him, Dark Passage weren't able to do anything. And that's what it seemed like. And again, we've jumped out of it. These teams, really, honestly, this is like getting.
You're not in the LCS anymore,
I'm not in the LCS anymore. I haven't got like a.
That used to what I've been going through the past year.
I need Scott Parkin stood behind these guys, like smacking them on the back of their head. It's like, why have you just left? Why have you just left the game? That's why we got to wonder. So that's the smack on the back of the head that you didn't get to see. Maybe we need to send him over to Turkey right now and say, Scott, buddy, can you get over there and deal with his team?
You know, I've actually cast with Scott Parkin once.
Really?
Yeah, way back in the day.
I've cast the game that he played in.
Really?
Yeah, that was the World Cyber Games UK Qualifier Finals. He was actually in the same team as Snoopy, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was that good.
He's not. Snoopy was carrying pretty hard at the time. And the team that was against him basically just focus banned every champion that Snoopy played at the time, which was Jax, I think, in jungle, when Jax jungle was a big thing back in pre-season 1, I think, or season 1.
That was before my time.
I do not believe this, Jarvan. It seems that the teams have listened a little bit to some of the casts.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, how often they get Demon to cast their games?
Well, we are, what, 3 minutes behind? Because here's the live client, so it's 3 minutes plus behind. So no chance of any spoilers, unless there's like a really bad spoiler.
Unless Leeson's going to camp for 3 minutes.
Well, yeah, it's we're waiting for this fight, guys. It's going to happen. I don't think it's going to spoil anything. I don't think we've got any problems with that, but we're hoping that things will get sorted out. I think Dark Passage are just realigning themselves at the moment to get themselves in the right position. Yeah, they messed up. They weren't in the right place. Steelback now is in the right place, and there is touch.
I do appreciate, though, that they line up, because it makes it so much easier for you to spectate.
Yes, it does,
like,
definitely.
Hitting 1 in Q for top laners, it's so
I remember
easy.
when we first did it, and we were just like, why? Why would you line up? And then we realized, obviously, the spectator, and just looking straight down the screen, just like top, jungle, mid. It's so easy. As a viewer now that we've basically got so used to it. So here we go. Pick and bans. Take 3. Here we go. Let's see if this works out. Ahri, Zed ban straight away. Again, focusing on that mid lane. Now also taken away from that time. Now really has become like one of the top laners right now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he should have been a long time ago. Just the whole fact of the range you have is ridiculous. The mobility you have to escape is ridiculous. And we saw during the EPS finals last weekend how devastating his ultimates can be if you can knock a teammate back into a wall. It is just crazy. And obviously going to be taking Lissandra away as well here, so they're not wanting to see Mage Vein on that one. But I wouldn't be surprised, like you said before, we saw DD obviously triple ban Narurat last time. I wouldn't be surprised to see it again.
Yeah, it's good to see no Warwick bans or picks either. he's gone out of the game once again.
Didn't you jungle Warwick once here when we played in house?
Of course I did. He was OP. It's all me and Joe do. It's like, who's basically poke the pro players. Who's the OP flavor of the month? Okay, thanks. We'll go play that. That's all Divisio does.
You had a good game too.
Divisio just sits and he was getting free elo on Fiddlesticks for the whole month. Syndra banned out. So that, again, is all 3 bans focused on the route. And we're just waiting for the final ban from Dark Passage. And what will be the first lock-in?
I feel like they should ban out Orianna here.
Well, Maokai is available. Lady Warrior played a fantastic setup for that. Maybe that. Or as the Jarvan. It's a possibility. There's the Jace ban again. So fairly similar bans from these teams. The only adjustment, ironically, is Dark Passage banning themselves out of Lissandra.
Thing is, though, that's a lot of mid laners gone. Yeah. Like, what do you have left? Orianna,
yeah. If you
I'm trying to think of another one right now.
If you Jessage, you'd go for Ziggs.
I mean, yeah, okay. You also have LeBlanc as well you could potentially pick up here. So they're very limited. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them grab their mid laners right now. But then again, like you said, we have Maokai left open. You could always counter that with a Castle in top lane. Oh. And we will see the Orianna yet again here.
Surprise. So first pick, Orianna. That's pretty confident. Going blind pick. But the thing is, Orianna doesn't really have a direct counter. With a Zed taken out of there, there's not really a great deal that can just jump on it. Even with a Zed, you can still counter it pretty hard if you know what you're up against. But again, we'll see how that works out. It does look like it's going to be a Thresh pick once again.
Are they really letting Jarvan get through?
Well, we'll see. I mean, Lee Sin's also on the cards. It just depends what Crystal likes to play, and Lee Sin tends to be his champion. But Pantheon getting locked in there. So the challenge to the Greeks, playing their own champion against them. I see how it works. I see how it works. Pulling out a Sparta move on the Greeks.
Oh, gosh. And that still leads me to believe, though, like, why not go for Jarvan again? Why not go for that ball delivery system combo that worked so damn well last time? The Pantheon, he's such a strong, early game jungler with that stun that he can do, not to mention when he hits 6, that man drop he can provide. So you usually pair him with like a Leona as a support because that's free kills bottom, but a Thresh will do relatively the same thing. When it comes into the late game, though, it's kind of like you're going to be sending Pantheon in by himself on a man drop kind of mission. And if the other team has too much damage, you're not tanky enough, like you're going to do pretty much absolutely nothing. So I don't know, the Pantheon not a terrible choice, but I feel like they could have picked maybe an 80 carry they wanted. I don't really feel like Anon would have been like, oh no, we're going to pick Pantheon here because we're really feeling him this game. Why take a jungler right now when you know they're not going to pick that one?
We'll see. They're taking a long time to deliberate over this one. Looks like it's going to be an Ezreal locked in there. Ezreal and Leona. We haven't seen Leona in a while. I certainly haven't.
I miss her.
I'm trying to think back through the NALCS expansion this weekend whether Leona was picked. I don't recall any. There was a lot of games.
Only one that really sticks out in my mind is the Hecarim middle.
Oh god, yeah, yeah. There was a couple of weird things coming out actually. Actually, and ironically, that is something new in the top lane, Hecarim, which I haven't seen yet. It's a possibility with the changes, but LeBlanc, as you talked about in that mid lane, it's almost certainly something they're going to have to fall to for to face the Orianna.
So LeBlanc to me is really similar to Orianna in the fact of if you have like a really weak early game, you can fall off really badly. The one saving grace she does have though is her mobility. So even if you have a really weak early game, you could still roam around and pick up a couple of cheeky kills to really kind of get a snowball going for yourself. I'm curious to see what they pick top laner though. Is it going to be more of a damage-oriented one or more of a DPS-oriented one? With Aurelia still open right now, I would hope that that's what they're going to go for. And Aurelia Pantheon combo is really deadly, very tanky, and can provide a high amount of damage. But let's see what they do go for here.
Well,
a Janna.
No, what? Yeah, what? No. So jungler.
I mean, what's his name? Zekin. You don't see him anywhere in the game, so I'm not gonna see Janna top lane.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, North American player. Haven't seen him for a long time actually. Jarvan looks like it's going to be locked in, or will it be Jax? Jax had a few changes in the 4.21 patch. Is he back? That's the question. Not too sure. Maokai in the top lane did a great job, Lady Warrior, on that last game, so why not? And it looks like it will be the Jarvan. So almost identical team for different dimension. The only change around, of course, is the Leona support.
If it ain't broke, why fix it? Kind of thing. I mean, you have a Leona who can facilitate a little bit better when it comes to that wombo combo. So a very deadly lineup here. Malphite most certainly is not going to be locked in here. Kassadin would actually not be bad because of how mobile him and LeBlanc can be. That's like a two-man assassination squad. You can get around Leona, hit the Orianna, hit the Ezreal, and take him down. Only downside is you're dependent on Corki to not have a rough game if he wants to be able to take down that Maokai.
Well, challenging for worst splash icon of the game is Malphite currently selected. You could easily mix it up with Maokai. They're just grinning different angles. That's all it is at the moment. Jax, though.
I think they heard you talking about Snoopy playing Jax.
Well, I mean, Jax's icon hasn't been changed, I don't think, since the start, has it? It's been the same thing. But there it is, a Jax in the top lane up against Maokai. We did talk about it has had changes in 4.21, slightly buffed. Is it back? Jax used to be the king of the top lane for a long portion. Certainly the Season 3 World Championships, the Grand Finals was all about Jax Renekton. We'll see if it works out for them up against the Maokai.
So with this kind of combo Dark Passage has, you better as hell be able to pick up kills with the Jackson Pantheon combo onto Maokai. Like, if you can't double stun someone and kill him, then you shouldn't be playing this one. So I'm assuming that Lady Warrior's going to have a really tough time here. Maybe go for a 2-for-1 or a 2-for-1 trade. Obviously, send your Maokai into a solo lane up against most likely Corki and Thresh. It wouldn't be a bad combo because if Jax sit close, Leona can stun him. The only problem is Leona obviously can't harass from range. But we'll see. And obviously, you do have the potential for Lady Warrior to hit level 2 before, obviously, his opponent can by taking the Raptors. So we'll see what's going to happen. I
mean, the biggest thing here right now is, certainly for Different Dimension, is their wombo combo has actually increased. Now with the Solar Flare coming out of Leona, they were already landing that combo multiple times in the game. It wasn't like a case of, if they could just land the combo, it may work out. They were doing it non-stop. Jarvan Cataclysm into the Shockwave was all working so well. True Shot Barrage is firing across the top. Half the time they were too late because the target was already dead. Yeah. But now with the Solar Flare as well, my God, I'm questioning this last pick because, like, why would you jump in there as a Jax when there is a Leona and a Maokai and a Jarvan all basically keeping you away from these two carries?
Well, you need a dive buddy, right?
Well, yeah. But
I mean, if Pantheon can dive into turrets, obviously block one of the attacks with his passive, you kind of want someone else to follow that up with. Like, if they can double stun Orianna, you can actually stop her from even using her ultimate. Problem is you have to worry about, obviously, the Leona stunning you up before you can get there, the Maokai from locking you away. But their hope is to just burst down Orianna before she can get the shockwave off. The problem is, if she builds another early zonies like she did last time, you're not going to have that happen. And the only downside, the only weakness of their team is Leona, funny enough, to me, just in terms of the early game. Like,
early game, yeah, level 1 stuff, basically in the lane phase is where they're going to struggle.
You can be flayed out of your Zenith Blade into the Corki to stun him, obviously, and Corki can just Valkyrie away. So the 2-for-1 lane, I think, is definitely going to be happening here to shut out the Jax. He's not one of the strongest champions to obviously be in a 1v2 for, but he's also really hard to dive at the same point with that stun.
Yeah, you don't dive a Jax on turret. That was like something you found
like the first thing
from
you
beta of League of Legends, if you guys have not been around since then, which quite a few of you have joined us. Anyway, if you have just tuned in and you're wondering, why is D-Man and Jason right now casting Greece versus Turkey? It is actually not just Greece versus Turkey. It's obviously Dark Passage versus Different Dimension. It is the Southeast Europe Championships, the Grand Finals actually taking place here. It is a best of 5. And the reason, this whole tournament's come about is basically to help nurture these nations, nations that you don't ordinarily see in the limelight. Of course, Turkey themselves have had, especially in League of Legends, a lot of limelight, I guess you could say. They have some big tournaments. But this isn't just about League of Legends. There's been a StarCraft tournament. There's a bunch of tournaments. It's a multi-game tournament going on. Yeah. So you guys that are maybe watching from those regions, this will be, of course, starting again. It's going to be, I don't know, sometime next year. But keep your eyes on the tournament. It is all about basically bringing up teams that you wouldn't ordinarily see. Of course, when you talk about whatever sports, certainly in Europe, it's always, we'll talk about this German team or this Swedish team because they're generally the kings of esports, certainly in and around Europe. But obviously, we're trying to bring up these teams. And the fact that we are seeing Turkish teams coming out there quite regularly shows that there is quite a lot of passion for this. The fact that there's 3 to 4
thousand people watching right now.
Yeah, 3 to 4 teams with gaming hours. You remember Riot held their opening in Greece, and there was thousands upon thousands turning up in Athens because there's a lot of gamers out there that really want to play, really want to compete in these tournaments. The fact that Riot Turkey were running the big Turkish finals, and they were filling 10,000 plus stadiums, shows there's a lot of you guys out there that really want to compete. So that's why, of course, we've brought this tournament around. It's been running for a good few weeks now, and it's really seemingly working well. Of course, these teams have had to play probably like 20, 30 games to get here. So this is a big tournament.
Practice for them.
It is absolutely a lot of practice. And whilst right now, Greece is actually showing that they are a force to be reckoned with. So we could maybe see them in the future, certainly in the international wildcard tournaments in League of Legends terms. And of course, you've got to look towards the StarCraft guys, whether they can ever compete. That's a whole different ballgame because you've got to compete with Koreans straight away, which is a tricky thing in itself. But that's tricky in League of Legends as well. But yeah, really is good to see these tournaments, trying to nurture these scenes.
We had over, 200 teams actually participate in this. And the fact that, this isn't a one-time thing here at ESL. We're going to be doing this, obviously, for the next year. I think the next season might start up in January, February kind of time. So if you have any friends out there, any interest in actually playing competitively, you can start these tournaments obviously every week and get yourself in there, get some experience under your belt, and who knows, maybe one day you could actually be playing at the World Championships.
Yeah, and if you're familiar with obviously the ESL tournaments, you got to think of it like in terms of, say, I guess the EPS. Obviously, there's EPS Germany, UK, Sweden, etc. Scandinavia, actually EPS Scandinavia, various tournaments. That's what this is. This is Southeast Europe, so we're starting to bring out that scene and develop it. So we're getting into the game, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get underway. Game 2 of this best of 5 series. It is different dimensions starting out this time as the blue team up against Dark Passage on the red team. They are about to spawn in, honestly, but we have a pause.
You think they're going to.
It's just like drawing us in, keeping us going, and then we have someone that's disconnecting. Awesome.
It happens. It happens. Just gives more time to talk.
It happens more often when I'm casting. That's what I've come to notice over the years.
I look at this as now as I get to spend more time with you, Demon.
Well, that's exactly what it is. After our Christmas party last night, I love spending a lot of time with you because I haven't spent enough right now. Some quality time, I believe, is
stuff, yeah.
is what you'd refer to it. But
see, they've already reconnected. Like, that's how quick it's just going to happen. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be, I'm hoping more of a closer game. Like, it was great to see that Different Dimensions could build up that big of a lead and then finish the game. Like, obviously, a lot of teams have a very tough time of closing out a game, even with the new patches coming out. Obviously, this is on live. This is on 421. Fortunately, 420 is now gone for us. Didn't really get enough of that one. But to see these, new and upcoming teams, Different Dimensions, you talk about them up against Dark Passage, and immediately we'll say Dark Passage will win just because of the name recognition, because of the previous results they've had. But to show that Greece can really pull out some big games here, and we could potentially see a couple new teams come up for the International Wildcard Tournament. If
Different Dimensions were to take this victory, it would be certainly a big boost for the Greek scene. That's absolutely for sure. If they can take down not only just the tournament, but a Turkish team on the way in the form of Dark Passage, who are probably the most known Turkish team. Certainly the team, obviously, they have been at Gamescom in the International Wildcard for the last 2 years running. They won it this year as well. So they got through to that World Championships with 3 of the players currently playing. So we'll see how it works out. But still, Different Dimensions started off fantastically well. You can see we're staring at a grey screen. It's not because we've died. It's because there is a pause.
I mean, if we were playing League of Legends, we probably would be dead.
Well, yeah, I would be. That's for damn sure.
Where's my team? Why don't you guys go in?
Yeah,
David,
my God.
You win in 1v5 when you're level 1 and they're level 10. I don't know what you're doing.
It's like if you'd only back me up, we'd have won that fight. That's generally how it goes for me in League of Legends.
Well, don't worry. We've learned who at the office 2 to play with and who not to play with. But either way, guys, game's going to be kicking off here. Game number 2 here in this best of 5 between Different Dimensions and Dark Passage. As you can see, Different Dimensions, surprisingly, to a lot of people out there, already up now 1-0.
Yeah, spawning in and ready to go. So we'll see the wombo combos were working so well, and on Psycho setting up all of those kills on that Java and the Flag and Drag. Sporting the Fnatic skin as well, so Cyanide being represented here, who's of course no longer with Fnatic, has himself become just a solo streamer. Interesting to see how that's going to work out in the EULCS. A lot of changes going on there, and a lot of changes here in Dark Passage with their 2 new players. Can they impress? Elwind currently replacing Fabulous in that top lane, playing as whatever the heck he's called. Yeteniz Kukuk.
Oh, come on.
Kosuk? I don't know how you pronounce it. I mean, really, does anyone? Unless you're Turkish. I'm sure people
always ask if I'm Turkish because my last name's Kaplan. Because apparently it means lion in Turkish.
Lion?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you couldn't be further from Turkish, I guess, really. As a Jewish person, that's like complete opposite to what you'd be in Turkish. But anyway, Naru on LeBlanc. This is something that could turn things around. He's got a bursty high pressure champion now with Crystal could be diving in. And Magebane, we'll see how it works out for him. And remember, his flash was burned early on Lissandra, which is what caused the problems in the first place. And now, of course, he has that dissonance to just warp himself away there. There's the little saplings, or I don't know what you call them these days. I know.
Did they model that after me? Look how big those things are.
Right, please.
Oh, my God.
They just watched a VOD of you and said, that's a great idea. Let's build a giant.
Well, Skyen made was a Jason Kaplan Fiddlestick skin. So that was always a good one. Either way, we're going to see Lady Warrior actually try to go for the Raptor camp. We're going to actually see Crystal come in and kind of stop this one. He does have a smite. Obviously, he could take it away, but he wants to stop Lady Warrior from hitting that early level 2.
That's a tricky problem right there. Smites it away.
Shoving lane as quick as he possibly can to force Lady to miss out on quite a bit here. A really interesting change. A really smart adaptation from game 1 as well.
Wow, so good play. Yeah, as you said, they're coming into lane at level 2 earlier on. That's going to be into the tower. I'm not too sure if he's done enough to miss it. No, good play from Lady Warrior. Will miss one. Will he miss any more? Gets the second. Oh, missed another. And missed another. So it worked out. It's worked out well. But he obviously still got the experience.
Yeah.
Didn't get the gold.
That's the important part here. So he's not going to be level 2, but it's going to be as deadly for him. You can see Nara, though, maybe getting ganked in the mid lane as he's being very aggressive here. Anon coming in yet again to help out Mage. Let's see if he can connect this.
Oh, the flash, the ignite is going to be enough.
Oh,
You can see. The juke was there, but the ignite told the story which one they needed to go for. Almost got sold the dummy there. But again, First Blood comes in. It's a non-psycho once again.
And Anon, I mean, this is what we've seen a lot more recently in the 420 plus 421 patch, is junglers ganking at level 2, taking a red buff, ganking immediately, because you think about how Season 3 worked. In the beginning, that was unheard of. Like, you never did that, and people started doing it, catches you off guard, and really gives a snowball to a lane. Then it disappeared, but now it's coming back, and I love to see that because it forces laners to be a lot more passive in the beginning. In terms of, you need to ward a lot more. A lot of people will just leave those wards until like 3-4 minutes in, knowing when the jungler will come in. Either way, Anon, again, fantastic start for him. Gets the kill, actually, for himself, finally.
Oh, is he going to go? No, he's not. I wasn't sure if he's going to go looking for Crystal in the jungle, who is doing the red buff at the moment. But not going to happen this time. Remember, he did catch him out at the red buff last time around, but that was a few more minutes in. So, going for the Gromp. Meanwhile, red buff will go across to Crystal. Smites that one down, so we'll have that red buff on him. We'll see with the double buff whether he goes looking. There is a ward in the tri-bush now in that top lane, so good defensive cover for Lady Warrior, who has recovered very well, honestly. Look at this. You can see in terms of farm, he's actually shoved straight back in on this Jax, who himself is actually starting to suffer because he hasn't got that range. Those little sapling tosses, they actually can grind you down quite hard.
Yeah, very hard. And obviously that's kind of like the downfall of Jax is, pre-6 you're very weak here, but Pantheon trying to come in for a gank here will be sorted out by that tri-bush ward. So luckily for Crystal, he's actually giving them the information.
Oh, the spear. That was a bit
lackluster.
Like, yeah, it was like build it up. No, it was crap.
But he's trying to facilitate an easier laning phase here for Elwyn now on the top side. But he hasn't really been that effective here so far. But Lady Warrior, I want to see if he can build this lead. And more importantly, I want to see how the bottom lane's doing for DD. Because you see Leona going in, but instantly gets played back. That's kind of the downside you're going to have happen. And it looks like we won't have any of those lane swaps coming in.
And again, junglers not paying any attention to this bottom lane. Happy for them to just duke it out between themselves. Currently, even in farm. And on Psycho, once again, going up top. As you mentioned, it's free. And look at his positioning as well. He's completely out of position. Actually being baited in here by Lady Warrior. Quite happy to draw it round. Can he get the flag and drag in the right position? Will he try and flash out? Uses a good shield to slow him down. There's the stun coming in. Beautifully done by Lady Warrior. Flash drawn out. And that's all they wanted. It's exactly what they worked last time around. They drew out the flash, came back around, paid a second visit, picked up the kill.
Speaking of coming back around for a second visit. Oh, I thought he was going to go back up for it there. But yeah, it was just so well timed too, because Lady Warrior, he spaced himself away from the counter-strike. And then once it was about to go off, he twisted, advanced it in, and locked him down so he couldn't get any more distance. Fortunately, the flag and drag didn't work out for him. Wasn't able to get the knock up. But nonetheless, again, like I said, Flash is now gone. Lady Warrior still has his. Now he has a huge advantage in this top lane.
So working out well for Different Dimension once again at the start of this second matchup. Best of 5 series, so at least one more to go. Could be many more in this series. We saw a couple of 2-0s come back to 3-2s over in the North American LCS expansion tournament. Of course, congratulations to Coast and Curse Academy making it through to the LCS over there. Some big turnarounds. Fusion completely caught off, and bless them, on the backside of 2-2-0 leads and losing it. But here comes Crystal M this time. He's going to try and pay a visit on Lady Warrior, who has got flash available and may actually just go full-on aggression here. Oh, good counter-strike. Wasn't quite in tower range, though. This is going to be a tricky dive in. They're going to try and jump on towards him. He has got flash still available. There it is. Can Crystal chase? No. Lady Warrior gets away. And actually, a pretty even trade because he almost took down Jax in the process.
Yeah, he almost did. The minions were just hammering away at him, and get a little bit more mana. That would have been a guaranteed kill, but unfortunately didn't have it. But then again, he stays alive. He comes back, actually top lane with his teleport, looking for Jax there. And if he had his flash up, he probably could have actually went for the kill. And
some good counterplay as well down that bottom. And on Psycho came in, stole away the walls, now taking away the Gromp as well. Will he pay a visit on the bottom lane now? Has managed to use that smite. We'll come around. Let's see if he pays. There is no ward coverage there, so he will be unseen if he goes straight in. Teleport being used to the top lane by Jack, so he's not going to be able to join this fight. Instead, no, I think he just got spotted, and they'd already backed away. That was just lucky play, I think, by the bottom lane.
Okay, Crystal, he was waiting to head up towards his top side. I'm actually not sure why Lady Warrior teleported back to lane.
And then went back.
And then went back to base.
Yeah,
I actually do not know why.
I think
play.
What it was Jax was sticking around on no hit points, so I thought he could try and teleport it in and try and quickly get the kill instead, and then didn't quite land it. I can only assume that was what was happening. Magebane is the focus, though, here. Crystal M, not hit level 6 yet, still only 4, so he can't just jump and pounce in there.
But he can flash stun because Magebane uses flash earlier in a 1v1 versus Naru, where obviously there was no kills coming in. And let's see what happens.
Oh, and even stepped towards him, but look at this, a non-psycho there. They saw Pantheon waiting
right
just off of the side. Yeah, oh, he's going to flag and drag straight onto him. He's pursuing straight into the jungle. Jax is coming down the river right now, so they may cut him off. They've got to be careful he doesn't get caught out of position. Good backing from a non-psycho. Good communications in direct damage, different dimensions. Direct damage, and it's DD. just completely throw myself off.
Double downs.
Yeah.
But that pink ward paying dividends right there. Spotted obviously Pantheon come in. They were prepared for the counter gank as well. Eventually will lose it, but they forced the flash out of Pantheon. So now obviously Magebane has a lot of pressure taken off of him when it comes down to maybe getting ganked here. But Anon should be level 6 soon. Off his red buff, he will get it. And this is where the ganks were going to come in. Luckily for Naru, he's a lot more mobile. Like, he obviously has his double jump away, so it's really hard to lock him down with the Cataclysm. But I'm imagining Jax might have a tough time, and I'm imagining that he might actually look down towards his bottom lane. With the Leona and a Jarvan, Cataclysm plus Sunflare, you're not really going to escape that.
It looks like it's going to be the red buff, but wow, a non-psycho low on that one. Good job there was no ward coverage, because he could have had a Pantheon pouncing on his head. But he hits level 6, so Cataclysm is now available for non-psycho as he goes back. And again, going back to the changes, still everybody just picks up the same old axe, don't they? They get
the Hunter's Trailblazer.
The Trailblazer, Ranger's Trailblazer.
Rangers. Where did Hunters come from?
Well, Hunter's Machete built into it, so I guess that's maybe where you're getting it from. But yeah,
I'll use that excuse.
After all the changes, the multiple choices of items, everybody goes back to the same one.
It's just the AoE smite, right? Like, that's just so... if it's still there, I'm hoping it still is. Let me just double check that one really quickly. Yeah, see, it does AoE. The AoE, though, it just helps you clear so quickly and makes you can get in these lanes a lot quicker and gank a lot more often. And unfortunately, with Warwick being nerfed, I don't really imagine any of the other ones being used anytime soon. Like the slowing one, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. That one's interesting, but only if you're really trying to chase people down. Look at this 1v1.
Oh, very low, and that's going to be a turnaround. Jax picks up the kill with his ultimate running. Level 8. Still very tricky to dive for Jax on the tower, and instead he's not even going to happen. But now they're going to try and turn it around. Crystal M comes up, and it's just defensive duty. So a one-on-one this time going Jax's way. Of course, you can see that Bilgewater Cutlass being made use of. Rod of Ages still not completed by Lady Warrior. And that was almost certainly a big win for the top laner for Dark Passage.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like he actually dove a little bit too deep under the turret right there and took quite a few hits he didn't need to, which obviously in turn cost him his life. But now Naru has his Nomicon now done. I want to see if he can pick up some kills here. He has the damage to potentially take Magebane, in a 1v1 here, but like it comes down to this. If Naru can get some kills, he can snowball his game for his team. If Mage can do that, then he can do the same. Also, at the same point, Elwind, if he can kind of get something going on that top side a little bit more, if he can pick up a couple more of these 1v1s since he's strong enough, then he can also get something going. Like, they have two really snowbally champions on their side.
Tribush ward spotted. Here we go. He wants an easy kill. There's two low targets. They're trying to get away. There's one. He's ignited. He's going down. I don't think that health pot's going to quite be enough. The last tick. Oh, but the shield will stop it. That's for sure. And now he will back away. Panda Life just surviving by the skin of his teeth there. And Naru, well, he wasn't unseen because there was a Tribush ward, but there was just nothing they could do about it.
Yeah, it's a LeBlanc. Like, running away from LeBlanc is almost impossible for yourself. But luckily, the Summoner Heal being used out of Dominic kept him alive here. And you're seeing now Naru Magebane going head-to-head. And Mage Shockwave...
Oh, dear. That was never going to land.
Yeah.
That was just some risky play. Actually, still, though, might be able to turn it back around here. Has got an attack ball back on him. Pulls the defensive. The blue buff will be helping him out here with the cooldowns. But now with Crystal M going to try and sneak around the side. He has got flashback available. If he gets stunned up, it's going to be a lot of damage. He doesn't even need it because he gets locked in the change by Naru. Fantastic stuff. The flash was used. And this time around, Dark Passage take the lead.
And now we're starting to see some life out of them. Maybe that first game for them was just a little bit of a warm-up, just taking some time to really get the hang of things here back in this. And now Crystal might even going to catch out Non. He won't have his Flag Drag anymore. Doesn't have his Flash either, so some good damage coming down. Naru coming from the side. All it takes is one leash, and he won't even go for it.
No, instead, well, Flag and Drag to safety on the tower. I'm not too sure that's where you want to back away. But instead, they're going to come around straight to the Dragon. And this would completely consolidate that lead nicely for them. We do have Panda Life just lingering around the side. Ezreal is there. They're going to get the ward coverage down, but I don't think they're going to go for any sort of interrupt. It's going to be a true shot barrage, attempt at stealing. They have the vision taken away from them, so it's now guesswork. That's very close, but not quite close enough. And it's Dark Passage to get themselves their first Dragon.
I mean, on top lane again, you're seeing Elwyn trying to get some sort of control in this lane. With that Blade King done, he should be able to 1v1 Lady Warrior, since that Rod of Ages coming in a little bit late here, but he's trying to harass as much as possible. He's trying to obviously keep him away, and those saplings with those giant noses trying to chase him down. But that will give Lady Warrior, a 20 CS lead top side. Will actually force him back to base here just to buy up, and he will have that Rod of Ages now done here. So he'll start to get a little bit tankier, but I still have to worry about that Jax, because look at Crystal. He's going some damage. He's going the Warrior enchant here. And him and Jax just jumping on top of someone with Naru to back them up can destroy pretty much anyone in this game.
So Lady Warrior will back away. Get himself that Rod of Ages complete. The jump on Magebane is going to take him low again. He's definitely having problems in his mid lane. Oh, the Shockwave has pulled him in this time. Flag and Drag goes over. Crystal M pancaked under an on Psycho, and Naru should be able to run away from this one. May even try and turn some of that damage around. Dragon Strike pops his Mimic, and that will be him backing away. So they do finally turn it back around, but Magebane again really struggling in this duel.
This ward right here, completely catching exactly Crystal, diving into that one, and a great turnaround from Anon, able to get almost a double knockup if that flash didn't come out of Naru. But either way, they turn that around. Now look at this little bit of a fight breaking on the bomb side. Lady Warrior teleporting down.
Teleport comes down as well from Jax. He's going to chase on. Instead, they're going to turn his back around. They try and lock up on towards him. There's going to be the Flag and Drag. Sorry, not the Flag and Drag. Zenith Blade goes in, jumps away, doesn't quite get away with it. And now he's in trouble. In comes a non-psycho around the back of the tower, but there's no minions. And you just saw how much damage Steel can actually put out there. And they will back off, but it's another 2 kills. And suddenly, different dimensions turning the game back on after looking like they were starting to slip away.
The lead they had is now gone. Like, they picked up, the 2 kills, then they picked up Dragon off the back of that, but now they're down about 1,500 gold. And you look at the CS differences, you see how strong Lady Warrior is now getting, not to mention that teleport completely shutting down Elwyn. But there's still a major CS discrepancy bomb side. Steel, 36 CS advantage. Triforce, well, they will be done when he goes back to base here in just a few. And that's going to give him a nice, hefty power spike coming into this mid-game.
But he did have a difference. He didn't sit on that gold for too long. He went for that Manamune, which is actually, how much has he built up so by now? Has he got too much on? It's only 140 stacks, so not a lot yet. So he's got a long way to go before that will be proccing in towards that Muramana. Dark Passage now. Can Crystal create more opportunities? It's been him that's been opening up, carving those opportunities for Dark Passage, and it may well be the bottom turret that they focus on. Oh, that death sentence is so close. That would have been Panda Life going down. Look at Crystal just waiting, hoping he'll step near it. Now he goes into the Tribush unseen, and this is a serious, serious problem for this bottom lane.
This is going to be tough here. We do have Anon, though, coming down towards the bomb side here, so he's reading this one very, very well. And she won't walk towards the Tribush just yet to be spotted out, but he does force them back. And again, Crystal, he's on one of the easiest junglers to make ganks happen. And his ultimate is now back up. So I'm expecting a gank come down here into this middle lane. And Magebane, he's in a tough spot. No flash to get away from this.
Yeah, he's just going to get jumped on and destroyed. Nothing he can do about that one. Clean, simple gank for Dark Passage.
That's a pancake if I've ever seen one right there. Just completely got destroyed by that one. And that's kind of what happens when it comes to Pantheon.
Oh, tower dive comes out. Lady Warrior taking down the Jax. Now he needs to run. He needs to make tracks because Crystal coming in has got a lot of damage. They know that he's going to be in the bush. Is he going to get out in time? This is going to be a tight one. They have no vision right now. The ward comes in. The stun. What? Why did he not jump? What?
His spear was on. His E was up.
Of course it was. I mean, he just. Okay, check that ward. Let's see if he actually. Did he put it in the right spot? Just take the vision.
You know what we're gonna do?
Toggle the vision.
We're gonna do this. We're actually just gonna go back and look at this.
Yeah, I'm gonna, because that was bizarre. Okay, here he comes. Puts the ward. Oh my
no,
God!
He didn't see him.
He put it outside.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
That must be on the edge of the bush.
That is embarrassing.
Riot, please.
Well, there is a different color. Like when it's in the bush, your icon turns orange.
Yeah.
So he should have. Oh.
Wow. Okay.
I think Lady Warrior peed himself a little bit off of that.
Yeah, I think definitely would have, but he must be going back thinking, I had no idea how he lived, but I lived. It's all good. Guys, I got away with it. But yeah, fantastic stuff. So, one-on-one turned around this time for Lady Warrior.
In the bush, though. It's stealthed.
Yeah. That pathing, eh? It's good that it's a new map, though, so it's all right. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem, but there we go. Live on stream, ladies and gentlemen. You saw it here first. Please, Riot, please, on the Reddit threads. So, back down the bottom lane. Oh, no, screw that. Back up to the top lane. Jax dived on once again. Twisted Advance not going to quite be enough this time around as he leaps away onto a minion. And they really have his number now in this top lane.
The CS difference. It was, what, 10 in the beginning? Now it's stretched to 20 to 30. Now at 50 CS difference. They're constantly focusing him down here and trying to keep Jax in the game. It's obviously a hyper carry. He already picked up 1 kill earlier on. Mage isn't doing too bad. He's just been punished by these Pantheon ganks over and over again. And speaking of that, man, he's already down the bomb side. Ultimate now about to come up. And this should be another easy dive for them.
Well, we'll see if it is.
It's Triforce up against Manamune. Like, this should be an easy win.
But he's got the Sheen, so he's got that little proc of damage on there as well. So it's not going to be the easiest. We'll see whether it works out. Of course, jumping onto Leona on a tower is less than ideal, but when he gets flayed in like that, surely... Oh, Leona got Drew in. True Shot Barrage rattles across. Is it going to be enough? Teleport not available, so he's going to get no support from Lady Warrior. And that was a clean setup. Panda Life going down, but now we need to see... Dominant making tracks, and Psycho's going to run across. Is it going to be enough?
Cataclysm
tries to get on towards him. Cataclysm is down. He used it in the top lane. Exhaust comes in. Oh, this could be cleanup duty for Naru. Gets himself one. Chains don't quite land, and he just backs away, taking what they needed. The middle tower is getting pressured, though, so they've backed away and gifted themselves 2 kills. Are they going to lose the mid turret?
Well, they might lose it, but I'm surprised they've actually gone for Dragon right now. They're going to actually clean it up, taking down the bottom turret. So they leave things up a little bit here, but they have the opportunity to easily go for Dragon now. They could potentially go for Orion if they can catch her out just simply. And Jax about to go down again, 1v1.
Is he? He's going to leap strike away. He could cut him off. Twisted Advance going to be available. I don't think he's quite got the length. Sapling should toss on towards him. Boom! The shield, though. Is it enough? The big nose Sapling, not enough to take him down. The shield working wonders from that new inner turret buff.
Big nose Sapling. He's going to spot out another man here with that sniffing sense he's got going on. But Panther will run away instead. But still, they take down Magebane, so they pick up another kill. It's 6-5 now in favor here of DP. And you can see they're still down 1,300 gold, though. They had the opportunity to go for Dragon, and yet they didn't do it.
I've got it. It's the Kaplan Sapling.
Kaplan Sapling.
Oh, there we go. The Kaplan Sapling coming in on towards. And we'll
rhyme
see
to it.
how it works out. So, Dragon is available. As you mentioned, they could have gone for it. This could have been a second Dragon for Dark Passage. They were in a perfect opportunity, but now you can see actually different dimensions are the ones setting up for it. They want to take down that turtle first. You can see Pinkwood in there as well. They want to get that vision, take it away from Dark Passage. But Dark Passage are reacting already. They're already making their way down here. That Pinkwood was enough of a warning. They've already got 4 members in and around the area. Lady Warrior nearby, throwing out the Kaplan Saplings, trying to get some poke on towards
whoa!
them.
That was big. Sorry, the Scuttlecraft goes down to Lady Warrior with the Twisted Advance, so they maintain this control, and this acts as a pivot point for them. They can run off of this and go for a very easy engage on the back of a Maokai. That's a huge win for them.
Well, Jax is still in the top, has got teleport. He's going to stick around and farm as much as possible. Oh, some poke coming out from Naru on towards Magebane, who has yet to get going this time around on that Orianna. You can see he's a little bit delayed, hasn't got the Zhonya's just yet, 20 minutes in. Of course, went for the Athenes, but Deathfire Grasp has been completed by Naru, so he is close to one-shotting the lights of Ezreal, or Dominant, whichever you'd prefer to refer to him as. But this is going to be the first Dragon buff started off for different dimensions, and it looks like it's going to be possibly a trade for the turret. Yeah, looks like Dark Passage is going to play this one safe.
Lady Warrior.
Oh! Oh my god, the steal with the rocket. Oh my lord. That will certainly pee them off, that's for sure. They're going to try to see if they can chase and pick anything up off this one because they've just lost everything. They've got their 15% dragon bonus now because that's their second dragon, turret bonus because that's their second dragon, and they lost the top turret, which is still being pushed. No teleport. Lady Warrior has just gone in. It's going to try and come around there. Can he catch on towards the back of him? There's the True Shot Barrage. Crystal M in trouble. He's going to get shut down. Can they go in towards Steelback? Steelback himself tries to come around. Doesn't get the kill instead. Panda Life going to chase. Naru coming around. He's going to get locked up. Is he going to stealth away? Mage Bane. Oh, he's been juked. He's been juked and got away. I can't believe he's managed to escape. They can't get close enough. This has all gone horribly, horribly wrong. They got themselves 2 kills, but they've lost a dragon and 2 turrets.
Oh my
wow.
God. That could not happen if you want to be a top caliber team right there. Especially the rocket to start things off with, but then the scrappy fight, Naru somehow distracting them, just sending them in completely different directions, hopping back over the wall, and not to mention now Elwin going to pick up a blue buff to top things off with. So that goal difference we had, which was about 1,400, is now down to about 2.
Wow, what a turnaround. Dark Passage playing that one a little luckily to start with the rockets. I mean, that should never happen.
The thing is, like, okay, so
St. Vicious, please, like to begin with. Like, it's not even like you're in a 50-50 duke with another jungler because the other jungler wasn't there. He just smited too early.
He did. He definitely did. And the biggest downfall of all that, besides Penalife now going to be going down here, is that Elwin had such a huge CS lead. Or sorry, no, he was behind by such a huge margin. He's now caught up, and with those dragons, it helps equal things out a little bit.
Oh, the stun's not enough. And on Psycho, I think he kind of baited him to stick around a little longer. It's like, I'm here, I'm here.
You, bro. Gotcha.
I'm gonna flag and drag through. Nah, I know what. Actually, you're dead already, so I won't follow
tripped.
that. Yeah, tripped along the way. But now, wow, Dark Passage, they want to start pushing towers. They've got that 15% bonus. Let's get on the turrets with a Jax in there as well.
God.
If they can bully them off the tower enough, which simply there's not much defense here from different dimensions. If they can just push them away, they will take them towers down very quickly. You just saw Jax take down 2 turrets himself in the top lane. He's already got that Blade of the Rune King, now building up towards that Triforce. Once that's complete, he's got so much damage on him.
Yeah, he does.
That's going to be a problem for them.
Like, this is, you were talking earlier on about using the Hand of Baron buff and a split push. Jax with a Blade of the Rune King and a Triforce is going to be unstoppable. Like, no one will be able to 1v1 him at that point. And with those cannon minions attacking the turrets from out of their range, someone has to go in past him to take those down. So it's going to be a really big nuisance if we could see DP take a Baron.
And that was the thing, like, different dimensions had that 40+ CS gap, which they do still, but the advantage they had of him, was much bigger, but they've left him farm 2, 3, 4 waves, take down 2, 3 turrets. It's just building himself up a giant, and that's one thing you always learn, no matter what level of League of Legends you're at. You do not let Jax free farm. You just don't let him go off on his own. You need to control him, and again, here you go. Dark Passage using their force, bullying them out, taking down that mid turret. They're now 4-2 up in turrets and looking in a great position. They're going to move down. Uh-oh, face check almost coming out. Doesn't happen. Naru will get spotted out by that ward.
And we are seeing a little bit of adaptation out of Dominant in terms of his build. He now has the Iceborne Gauntlets this time instead of the Triforce. We're realizing he has to kite the Pantheon, he has to kite the Jax as much as he possibly can. But Mage, like, this is the real questionable thing for me. He's not as fed as he was last game. And his ultimates were so spot on last time. This time, he's missed, I think, more than actually hit.
Yeah, definitely not been pulling the trigger on point. And ironically, like, they have an easier one-bar combo this time around with that Solar Flare. But fair play to Dark Passage. They've not grouped, they've not clustered like they were in game 1, which is they've decided, you know what, we need to be actually dodging these Cataclysms. It's not stand as 3 or 4 together.
Well, that's a good point mentioning the Solar Flare, because that's one thing they're always going to have, right? They can pop the Solar Flare onto someone and easily burst them down.
Different build as well coming out of Dominant this time around. Gone for the Gauntlets instead of that Triforce as the second item. So adjusting to actually what you suggested. He is 2-0-2. He was 4-0-1 last time around, so he's still doing a great job. Dominant's had a good game despite having little to no help. Naru's still lingering, hoping he can find something, and actually taunting Naru, I think, there as well with a little laugh.
I feel so bad for Lady Warrior right now because he was able to 1v1 Elwin multiple times. He didn't get the kill, obviously, but he won the fight clearly. Now he's at a point where he can't actually beat Jax anymore. Like, it's just so tough to have that kind of control in your lane, but then to leave it to help out for Dragon, lose 2 people off the back of that, and then let the Jax free farm and take 2 turrets. Like, it completely just made all that hard work you put in for the first 20 minutes mean nothing.
Well, Currently, it is Lady Warrior with the farm advantage. Has gone tanky again, just like he did in game 1. Rod of Ages, Spirit Visage, and will be Frozen Heart coming out next, and with Suspect. So he's still going to be that gigantic big brick wall, or redwood, yeah, indeed, blocking the way. That is Scry. More abuse in the mid lane. Yes, it was.
Yeah, we've seen that actually come out a lot now for AD carries. I mean, obviously you don't need the sweep lens as bad for yourself, but then you have the extra potential to, if they chase someone into a bush, you can stop yourself from face checking when obviously late game you're so impactful as a player. But now, with Dragon Cup about 15 seconds here, I'm assuming DP, they want to set up, they want to get positioning. Then again, they don't have to fight it. Because look at this. Again, back to the top lane, Jax shoving away, and it's their fight to have.
There they go. Naru actually focused, but didn't quite get caught out. There's the teleport. Jax is going to join the fight, and this is a good position for a counter-strike. Quick one as well. Could lock up 2, 3, 4 members. Wow, straight on towards it. There's one down. You're going to see good shockwave coming out counter, but the damage is not quite forthcoming from different dimensions. Steel back at the side, just doing free damage. They are going to force them away, but look at this round the back. There is Naru. Comes in, gets himself a shot. Quickly taken down by the True Shot Barrage, but that's going to be the big tree going down, locking on towards them. That's going to be surely another for different dimensions. Can they clear this one out? The counter strike comes out once again from Jax. He has to run away. This time Steelback is locked up, and they're going to tower dive. They do not tower dive a Jax. So many times I've said this one, but that was a close fight. A 3 for 4, I think, overall. We do see Leona respawning. It went on that long. This is actually still a dangerous dragon, I feel.
It is. I mean, Jax needs to come back in there. He's fully healing off these minions on top of this. And also the shockwave's down, so it's pretty much him to take it away. And if they do secure this somehow, if they steal this...
This is risky. He's got double buff. He's got the cooldowns as well. If he lands that counter-strike and leap strike at the right time, he's going to go on towards Magebane. He's got just about Panda Life coming in at the right time. Zhonya's Hourglass will save him, and they will get him down along with the dragon. Close fight. And really, a very good job that Panda Life respawned and come back at the start there.
Yeah, very, very great awareness by him to just run as fast as he possibly could back down to that bottom side. So we saw a couple different things in that fight. Naru dancing in and out of the fight so damn well here. Lady Warrior, a dead warrior.
I mean, that was a hook and a pancake. It was all in one.
A hook and a pancake. A bong and a blintz. A pipe and a crepe. But then we also saw Dominant. One thing that was so impactful in that fight was his different build, like you were mentioning before. The Iceborne Gauntlets allowed him to kite, allowed him to be tankier, and allowed them to chase so much better than they were previously. Are they really trying to go for a risky Baron here?
Ooh, it's...
They don't really have the damage.
No, that's... Yeah, without the Jax and then teleport, it's a very big risk. They're going to try and set up a gank instead. Pink Ward just around the side. Oh, look at this. Leona's getting drawn into it. Panda Life coming around. It's actually pink warding up the blue, and they're going to go for the blue buff. Oh, comes around. Naru spots him. They're going to have enough. The Death Sentence will land. They throws out the Lantern instead and pulls him to safety. And actually, Naru taken pretty low off that one because that Muramana must be close to completion. Now he's got the Bilge Water as well, so it's going to go towards the Blade of the Rune King. All the clickables for Dominant this time around.
732. He's almost there. And that's just going to be such a major spike for them as well here. You can see Finger off to the side looking for maybe a potential engage.
The bottom tower, though, look. You can see the Jax is being left free farming. This is all they need to do. Get him free time.
Oh my
look
God.
at that. Just destroying it. Now the Triforce completed. Along with that Bilge Water, he will smash them turrets down.
And the Dragon buff, the 15% is just making it so easy for him with a Trinity Force on top of it. Just crazy amount of damage here. And they even set up for potential gank here. You can see how much damage he'll do to Lady Warrior, the tankiest man on the team. But yeah, this is kind of a crucial point. You know, 30 minutes in, you got to play it safe. You can't afford to go down.
Oh, there's the hook. Corki's joined it as well. Is he tanky enough? That Frozen Heart, it just can't keep him alive throughout this much damage, this much sustainability. Leap strike once again, and Jax pounces and gets himself another kill. Owen must be so satisfied this time after the last match.
Oh, yeah, it has to be for him. And not to mention Naru now, who's at 5-2. He's had such a rough time in that first game. He's really shined in this game. But now off the back of that kill, like what are they trying to accomplish? And you said, you know, maybe a little bit of contemplation within the team, not really pushing the bottom lane. You have Pantheon shoving top lane. You have obviously LeBlanc going back middle to get some farm. I think they're waiting for like a certain item or two before they do kick things back off. And I mean, Jax, he's only going to get more powerful as he builds up these tanky items.
Well, Muramana has just been completed by Dominant. Triforce, of course, was picked up by Corki, though, so Corki's nothing to be sniffed at, that's for sure. Last Whisper will come in shortly, and that's going to only help to shred Lady Warrior a little more. Magebane miles ahead previously. Hasn't gone for that death cap as the third item because he just simply hasn't got as fed. And to go towards that void staff, which is often referred to as the poor man's death cap. And instead, now they're grouping. They're going to push. But again, that bottom tower, nobody can deal with it. Teleport comes out. That will hold him off for now, but it's a teleport burn.
It is, and his will be up very, very shortly here, so he could continue to split push, teleport towards Baron. And that's one thing right now that obviously DD needs to keep in mind. And I still feel like he could easily 1v1 Lady Warrior here if he just goes for the battle. But he's got to be careful. He only has one ward in the jungle right now, which is currently right here, to spot anyone coming down from that middle lane. So his team has to kind of help him out. They need to push together, force the other team to beat them, kind of midway. And that allows Jax to split push here. As you can see him still just trying to sit down there, trying to play this one safe. Because if he gets caught out, the split push elimination is gone, and that allows him to go for a 5-man push somewhere. It's
amazing to me that how often that pink ward that they've got in that bush, just the side of the red, how long it survives. Because so often we're seeing teams using that position now because it's such a sneaky ward that you don't often check that bush. But it gives you great vision if you are going to push them side lanes. You do the same, of course, in the top half of the jungle as well. Speaking of sneaking on towards a non-psycho in trouble here, Solar Flare only catching on to Crystal. And, well, he actually flagged and dragged himself in towards the rest of the team and said, yep, going down, buddies. What are you going to get from it? That's the question. Will they go Baron?
Well, it was a good job by Naru right there to actually dodge away from the Solar Flare, so he didn't get locked down. But Baron, a very likely possibility. They don't even have to do it, though. They can play this one safe. The problem is Edgel poke is going to be so deadly. But Jax's poke on these turrets is just hammering them down. And they don't have to fight. They just need to buy time for Jax to push.
Yeah, that's exactly all they need to do, and that's what they're doing. And you can see they've got nothing to respond to. Somebody has to back away. So all the Dark Passage you're going to do is keep them busy. You can see they're actually keeping them in range right now, in vision range, so they can force them away. But it's dangerous play they're doing there. The shield just about keeping him alive. But again, Jax continuing to push. Mage Bane did get some damage on. Now he's got some minion waves in, but Panda Life up. Mage Bane taken very low. Oh, what a great catch on towards him. Is it going to be enough? Bam! Pops him right there. Mage Bane gets himself a kill, and that's going to feel satisfying after Naru's dominating him in lane.
Naru got cocky.
Yeah.
That's just simple as it can be right there. You got too cocky. Panda with a great Zenith put over the wall was able to catch him out. And with him now gone, like you saw the damage he did to Mage Bane. He took him down 75% of his life. Well, by taking away all the wards around Baron, they could go for it.
They're going to lose an inhib if they do this. They're going to still go for it. Teleports up. There's no wards, as you mentioned. They could try and come in here. Actually, Maokai's backing away. Here comes the drop, the man drop. Crystal M on towards him. Oh, it's going to be a Cataclysm on towards him. Isn't enough. Solar Flare. There's the teleport coming in. Counter-strike not quite landing. It's taking a massive amount of damage from him as well. Good flag and drag will knock him in the air. He's just running for his life. True Shot Barrage goes across the side. And they do not get a kill yet, ironically. Are they going to lock on towards him? Oh, a little bit too deep for Panda Life. Will stay alive. Oh, that's a good catch. Crystal in trouble. He's going to get picked off at the side there. He will go down. Who's going to pick up the kill? It will be Dominant. But wow, a close fight there. That was a 4v5 for Dark Passage.
That was, and I feel like if Jax's Counter-Strike hit a little bit better, that would have been a easier fight. Ooh, wow.
Ooh, Naru trying to clean up.
He's got big ovaries to do that. I mean, just one stun and you're gone. One twisted advance and you're dead. And now, Hook gonna come in on Lady Warrior. I don't feel like still has the damage to take him down just yet because the entire team's there to back him up.
But round the side, Naru trying to get the damage down on Dominant will instead get chased upon. Now he's going to try and run away. Is this good? Counter play from both these teams, making sure nobody's going to be high enough. But this is a risky game for both teams. Like, if one team were to lose this fight, almost certainly a Baron would go and the Dragon would follow.
Yeah, and speaking of Dragon, actually it's back up right now, and you've seen pings coming down onto it. So it looks like both teams want to get the vision around it. We're going to see Panda get a ward in there just to kind of spot it out. And the Shuttlecrab is alive, but it's actually being taken down here just yet. And they're not being spotted out. They should be able to secure this one very easily. Only Iona's here to stop it. And really, in all honesty, she shouldn't be able to take it away.
Yeah, that's not going to get taken away.
It's not a quirky rocket.
True Shot Barrage is not available either, so you can't even try and snipe it with that. You can see he's off the side, taking the blue buff, ironically. So that is the third Dragon of the game now for Dark Passage. In full control of that one with the initial Corky steal on the first one. So they have full control. We have seen teams lose, though, with 5 Dragon buffs. That was over in the North American expansion. The first time we've seen it happen, I think, in competitive play. May have happened in OGN as well, I believe, as well. I'm pretty sure there's been a game over there where it's
got to be embarrassing to be the first team to lose with a 5 Dragon stack.
Yeah, it's not something you want to be known for, really, is it?
Very true. But, I mean, right now, it's obviously not over for either way. I mean, considering how this game started, Dark Passage had a giant lead.
Oh,
now Crystal he's getting caught out. He's dead.
Yeah, he should be dead. Oh, they're going to use the shockwave for it. It's a pretty quick cooldown. It's a kill, and it's the jungler down, which does open up a Baron opportunity. But again, look at the bottom lane. There's the Jax once again. Elwin doing a fantastic job, and he's taking that tower down. That's gone. There's no one going to react to this in time.
Well, you can see the team trying to respond by trying to go for Baron here. He's going to take...
Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's gone. Boom. Teleport. Oh, he just about made it in there, but...
And he can win this 1v1.
Yeah, there's no tower to support him. He's going to go straight in for it. Hasn't used the Blade of the Rune King just yet. There it is. Pops it down to try and help his escape. But the Baron getting started off. Teleport not available for either top laner now. So it's a 4v3 right now. Dark Passage are the ones. But oh, that's going to be the support. Going to get caught out. Touch will go down, a.k.a. Finger. Look at this Jax. No cares given, taking down the inhib, despite the fact Lady Warrior is doing what he can to interrupt him. There it goes, leap strikes onto his own minion. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
And that pressure alone, with him being able to 1v1 Lady Warrior, at least stay alive long enough. Ooh, it's not going to try to come in, but it's going to miss, unfortunately. But you saw the team. We saw, different dimensions. They tried to go for Baron. They couldn't do it. The poke from Nara, the poke from Steel was just too much to allow them to take it. So they stopped them from doing Baron. They pick up a free inhibitor turret and an inhibitor. That's what's going to happen when you have someone split pushing against you and you don't have someone who can deal with them.
Yeah, nobody at the moment. I don't think anyone wants to get near that Jax. Now he's got the Banshee's Veil as well, along with the Warden's Mail. He's becoming a tanky menace on every side. MR and AR, I guess is the correct phrase for it, but the armor buffed up. So is anyone able to stop him?
Well, the thing is, it was so well played by Dark Passage. It's like, okay, we have a Jax. Let's use him to our best ability, split push. And they knew they could keep them off of Baron with just the Blanc and the Corki. And they know no one could take on Jax 1v1. So
that's taken. I mean, they knew they'd taken an on Psycho down so low in hit points. He had to base. He had to go to Fountain. And that is going to go down so fast, of course, with the Corki shredding the armor, with the Jax pounding on it. There we go. Baron picked up. Panda Life comes in. You're too late, buddy. Shockwave, is it going to come on? It's going to have to land on the perfect spot. They do snipe down Touch. Now they're going to go in. They're going to focus on towards Jax. Jax has to be picked off here. They've got a lot of damage down on towards him. Twisted Advance is enough. Magebane takes him down, and now it's a 5-on-3. Can they take anything from this? Lady Warrior tries to chase on. They can't shut down Steelback. And now, can they get an objective from this one? They have to hard push the mid lane.
They need to. They have a lot of turrets they can take down as well here. 2 on the bottom side, 1 on the middle lane. But an important fact of that fight was they took down Jax. Like, that was the key thing. Yeah, they lost Baron, but you stop his potential for split pushing a little bit more. Obviously, he can still do it, but with a Baron buff on the minions, it makes it impossible to stop that. Either way, with them there, with the Candy minions and the regular minions that they have, with the hand of Baron buff, it's enough to force them back.
But they've got nothing from it. That's the problem. There's no objectives gained. Super minions push in. Yep. You can see that Lady Warrior had to back off, has to clear out these super minions pushing on them. And that does, of course, give Dark Passage all the time in the world to garner and group and build up these waves of minions with that Baron buff and start to push in the objectives.
So this is something that we don't have from last game, is a good disengage on the side of different dimensions. So, like, they can't even split push themselves at this point. And over on this side for DP, they don't have the greatest disengage either. So even if you do split push, it's still really risky. But the way that, Dark Passage has been playing this, they haven't allowed themselves to get caught out in the split pushes. Like, if anything, they've been capitalizing off the indecision that Different Dimensions is making.
And Dominant's positioning generally in teamfights is very good, actually. The only time that one death he had was when he was caught out 3v1. Wow, Magebane taking some punishment there from Naru, who's feeling a lot more confident now. He's got his stack of damage built up along with that Baron buff. And the siege is very much on. There's the top lane. Once again, Jax, yep, potted up, pushing in. Got those buffed up minions as well. It's the Iron...
Ruin.
It was the Ruin one he's got, which is the attack damage, I believe, bonus.
And damage to towers.
Yeah.
So that's like, all right, let's split push. Like, this is my time. This is my moment to shine here.
This is what we're talking about. You can see that ranged minion, the ranged cannon. Actually, it's gone pretty close on this one, but it doesn't matter. It's buying Jax time. And look at that, smashing down that turret already. The most satisfying in League of Legends is a Jax thudding on your tower.
See, this is what I don't agree with, though, with Pantheon actually pushing bottom side here while the rest of his team pushes middle. He's going to get chased down here, and he shouldn't be able to escape it.
He's trying to buff up the super minions, and that's what he's doing. Well, of course, Naru tries to make a pick there. Look at these super minions. He's having to be kited out. That's an Ezreal with just about everything you could hope for in terms of AD trying to stack on towards him. Death Sentence a mile wide, and those minions will get cleared out. Zenith Blade not going to lock onto Naru, just distort away from it. And actually, nothing gained so far from this Baron buff. Oh, well, they try and get him off. Naru tries to juke himself. Doesn't get picked off in time, though.
Yeah, it was still really close. Too close for comfort, as you can see them all just backing away now. And I still want to see Jax. If he had that Baron buff alive, like, it would be, as I said before, impossible to stop from taking these turrets. But even then, with just a little bit of uncoordination, I feel like within the team, they haven't been able to effectively use this Baron.
Yeah. Dragon, though, is up, and that's going to be the 4th of the game being picked up by Crystal M. Doing a fantastic job, along with Steelback, to take that. So, 4th. Dragon now picked up. Not such a big deal, honestly, anymore, really. It's like a bonus to minions. And,
yeah, you get 15% more damage to minions.
I mean, yes, you're going to shred down the Baron and the Dragon fast, but, I mean, who isn't at 41 minutes into the game? It's kind of a meh buff, really.
Yeah, it's more of like a defensive buff. Declare minion waves quicker. Like that's so it used to be on 2 or the second stack. So like obviously if you're a team that's losing, as long as you get 2 dragons,
you can still clear the way.
Exactly.
Quick,
you can still kind of prevent that Baron buff from really doing too much against you. But now it's on number 4. It makes it really really impossible to do anything about that. And that forces you to pick a lot more champions with wave clear. That's why you see Lissandra get really popular all of a sudden.
Look at this though. Oof. How are they going to deal with this mean lamp wielding machine?
I would have thought a lantern would be that deadly.
Well, Jax, if you actually looked at his lore, was that manly that he didn't want a real weapon. So this is why he just picked up the lantern that was nearby. He's a manly man.
I feel like there needs to be a skin that has him with like one of those cardboard tubes. You know, like in like paper towel rolls.
Yeah, I have a way. Yeah,
and he's like smacking with
kitchen
that.
roll.
You know, you always fought your brothers with those when you were younger. These are swords.
So. Oh, Lady Warrior is going to have a little poke towards Naru. That's not really the target Naru wanted to go looking for. He's literally the tankiest member, most magic resist you could find, and realized, yeah, I'm not actually really doing a lot to him. He kind of hurt me more. But let's see. This time around, they've used Dominant to split push and keep Jax busy. And that means it's, of course, giving these 4v4 down the bottom lane a little bit more chance.
You're missing your biggest damage deal on your team right now. Like, Ezreal needs to be here. This is the downside to having like a tank top lane and like a tank jungler, is that they don't have another damage dealer to back them up. And look how far Lady Warrior
that's a deep, deep dive. The solar flare lands and the shockwave, but he doesn't land the target. He doesn't get the kill. And Naru just about picked off at the end there by Lady Warrior. Jax, though, he's pushing on towards the tower, and there's not a lot. Ezreal's trying to work him down, but he still takes the tower, jumps on towards him, almost racks him where he stands, doesn't quite get enough, and Dominant does manage to juke him out there, and they do survive. A 2-for-1 so far, but they're going to jump on. Panda Life getting focused. The Death Sentence doesn't quite land on Mage Bane. They're going to keep chasing. This is a risky play. Crystal's going to get caught out. Lady Warrior goes in. Big drag there from the Lantern. Will keep him alive. Nice camera up, buddy. As they do keep on there, and they will chase him away. So they defend for now. The Baron buff has worn off already. It worn off at the start of that fight, but that was still a very close fight. That if Naru hadn't been caught out so early on, absolutely would have gone Dark Passage's way.
It would have, but that's, I think, why they kind of went in for it, really, and they caught him and locked him down. And this Elixir Rat, I have to point out, you saw how much health Corki healed up from every auto attack. It was ridiculous. He was almost impossible to take down right there. But again, like you're saying, Naru got caught out. If he didn't die right there, that would have been Mage Bane gone, and that would have been all their damage just completely mitigated.
Now, while Ezreal did take down Jax,
it wasn't even a 1v1.
It was like actually just hitting the turret for the majority
of the time.
I'm
hit the turret, you can hit me, do it all you want. But there's 2 open inhibitors now, and that's just prime time for Jax.
And it does mean, of course, backdoor opportunities for a Jax with their teleport up. If they just get some wards down there, we could see some stealth missions coming in. Baron spawns just in time for them to group and push. But look at this. Dark Passage actually on the defensive for the first time in a while as different dimensions start grouping. They're flanking around. Oh, there is
that ward for Jax.
He's actually just all 5 of them,
he can do that.
Yeah, he's just running to the bottom right now. He just wants to pull. No, he's not. He's going to try and sneak in. Oh, he's spotted by the ward. Oh, he is trying to go on a stealth mission, but they saw him. They saw him. There's been no ping on him just yet, though, so they're only making the way back there, but that inhibitor on the bottom lane is going to get backdoored, and that is indeed where he's going. No, I think he's realized it. I think he's realized the goose is cooked. I have been spotted.
So Jax is French?
Yeah, of course he is. Is he trying to go in? I don't know what he's doing. He's run back and forth twice. Right, I think he's realized he has been spotted because he just saw the whole team just saw him going backwards.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here. I mean, if he goes down, again, that's in... Why would not take down that ward?
Because, I don't know. It's a riot ward.
It's just don't want to be caught out or something like that. But if he goes down, like, that's an entire split push threat gone. And that will allow here different dimensions to push. The problem is that different dimensions keep fighting on their own side of the map. So even if they do win these fights, which they've been just barely scathing by being able to do, they still don't have much time to really push up against these turrets. Yeah, obviously the timer was increased to facilitate that. They wanted to make it so you could obviously push a little bit better when you want to be rewarded better for winning these fights. But still, who do they have to take down turrets quickly? It's just Ezreal.
And he's had to get a fair chunk of magic resist in there as well to counter Naru, who himself has become a gigantic threat. But with the death cap, etc. completed for Mage Bane, his shockwave certainly does rip a lot of damage if you get caught up in that one.
Look at this.
But 4,000 hit points on Jax right now as he keeps on piling through. Naru doing a split push of his own, and actually different dimensions. They're all in the mid lane at the moment, completely out of sorts. That's going to be the top engaged upon. And Naru is actually putting damage on the inhib, and nothing they're doing about it. They just have to split and keep him away. Is Lady Warrior going to fancy it? Don't think so. 4,000 hit points versus about 3,500 hit points. Well, looks like maybe 4 for Jax. Yeah, 3.7 for Lady Warrior.
Oh, here we go. Dragon coming back up.
5th dragon. This is a big one. They have to stop this one, and they're going to lose their inhib. That's already gone. There's the inhib. They absolutely have to fight for this one. This is a dangerous position for them. But Naru not there is a big deal. He can't get close to this one anytime soon. They're going to go for the Nexus. They're going to try and finish.
Crab. They know there's all of them here.
And they've got the dragon. They've got the 5th dragon. They're going to push in. The Nexus turrets are going down. They're just hammering away at this one. They're going to stop them. Why is he not fighting them? Why is Corki not shooting that 3-man stack to stop them backing away? Doesn't matter. They're on towards the Nexus turret. Can they stop this Jax? They try to interrupt him as best they can. They will take him down just about. Why in God's name did Steelback not rocket those 3 members all clumped up at once backing away?
That would have won the game. That would have won the game for them right there. But either way, I mean, with no Nexus turrets alive, with an open inhibitor down, and with one more to go here, they're still going to be very tough to come back from here on the side of different dimensions. And now I'm going to get caught with the hook. They're not going to commit to the fight. But that Scuttle Crab, it gave them vision, even though they weren't attacking it, to see everyone was there and allow that backdoor to happen. And now they need to run away. They need to escape this one, and it should be easy.
Oh, and they've got away as well. I don't think there's anything they can do to stop this one. They're just trying to keep them busy at now. They're going to lock in. That's going to be Crystal M in trouble. Lady Warrior comes around the side. Naru pops in there. Doesn't quite get the kill on towards Mage Bane. Exhausted up. Takes one rocket. Mage Bane goes down. This is all sorts of trouble for different dimensions. Lady Warrior trying to lock them up, but the rest of the team are in trouble. Touch comes around the side. Naru picks himself a 2nd off. He's going to find a 3rd as well. That's going to be a jump on there. They both go down as well. Naru pops around the side. And that's going to be Dominant as well. He picks up his 3rd. Fantastic stuff, and Dark Passage aced them out there. Super Minions now doing work for them on the Nexus. That's actually just going to go down to Minions. I think, no, Minions are not quite enough, but it doesn't matter. The rest of the team are coming in. This will be game number 2. It's going to be all square, 1-1, as Dark Passage tie up the series with, honestly, a fantastic dominant control. The last 20-30 minutes of this game, they have been the team in the lead by a long way. What a performance, though. You know, you've got to look towards the top laner. Fantastic stuff from Elwyn, especially after game 1. He's got to be happy with that performance. And Naru, you know, turned it around. He was smashed in game 1. And they tried the same, different dimensions, which is always tricky, is the word. Risky, trisky. I'm not really sure which way I was going with that one. But it's always tricky because a team has just literally spent an entire game figuring you out. So if you go the same tactic, they're like, well, we know what to do against this, so okay, we'll win.
One big problem that they had in that fight, even with the same comp, was the fact that Naru was so good at dancing around the edges of the fight. We saw in the last one alone, just he constantly stayed around the back. Whenever his combos was up, he'd go in, do the damage, get out, and get someone practically dead from that every single time. He had a fantastic game for that. Jax, though, Elwyn, like, remember he was down 40 CS for the entire game?
For a long period.
He actually finished out ahead by about 18 in that one. But it was the whole split push thing. It's like you have a tank top on different dimensions. You have a hyper carry on the other side. You can't mix them up against each other. The hyper carry is always going to win. So obviously, different dimensions with the Maokai pick didn't work out the way they wanted to.
Is Jax back? I wonder. That's the question, of course. Had a slight little buff, but wow, what a comeback from Dark Passage. Fantastic stuff. Game 3 coming up shortly. This is a best of 5 series, remember. So we're all square. And honestly, they've been both very good games so far. That was a tricky balance, that game. But you've got to think Elwyn absolutely dominated it once he got towards the end there. Late game Jax. What a surprise, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go for a break quickly, but when we come back, Game 3 will be getting underway in his Southeast Europe Championship in the Grand Finals.